Welcome to Revival. Tonight, in front of a packed house at the Crystal Palace Indoor Arena, you're going to witness the return to your screens of British wrestling. Over the next 2 hours, this Tommy Boy Promotions tournament will crown the first King of England.
That's right, Mark Priest. Tonight is the biggest night of British wrestling since you and I were knee-high to a grasshopper. And that is why we've got wrestlers from the UK, the United States and mainland Europe all coming in for this one.
This is going to be big.
This is Revival.
Blood, sweat and tears. British Revival. British Revival. Once upon a time, the world was tribal. Soldiers ridden in gangsters' Bible. The attitude changed. We worship false idols. It's not about survival. It's a British Revival. Blood, sweat and tears. British Revival. British Revival. Blood, sweat and tears. British Revival. British Revival.
Let's join Tommy Boyd in the ring for the tournament draw.
Ladies, can we put the balls which have been numbered, one for each of the men, into the royal bag? 17 names, 8 will be picked to go into the quarterfinals. The last 2 names will be the first fight we'll see this evening for King of England. Number 11.
Drew McDonald.
Number 13.
Robbie Brookside.
Number 15.
Johnny Storm.
Number 3.
That's Jodie Fleisch.
Number 2.
Scott Parker.
Number 14, 1-4.
Alex
Eddie Guerrero.
What? I don't believe it. Tommy Boyd has screwed Alex Shade out of the tournament.
What do you mean screwed him out? That was just a mistake there.
Early into our show and we've got our first shock already.
The next 2 names will be the first 2 names to fight, and they are number 16.
It's all kicking off on the rampway, Mark.
Flash Barker.
Will fight number 7.
Doug Williams.
That is the draw for the King of England. Gentlemen, let's do it.
We've got shocks already in this King of England tournament here on Revival, on Bravo. Our first matchup, our quarter-final matchup, will be between Flash Barker and Doug the Anarchist Williams, somebody's pre-tournament favourite, Dean.
Absolutely, Doug Williams, one of my pre-tournament favourites. But did you notice there, neither man would turn his back on his opponent there.
There's a lack of trust from either man, and who can blame them? These two have fought each other up and down the country for years. There's a heated rivalry here, Dean.
Oh, these two know each other very well indeed. You're going to see lots of counters, lots of reversals here. Great head scissors.
These are highlights of the quarter-final matches, ladies and gentlemen. The draw took place earlier tonight. These were the first 4 matches drawn out. We have Doug Williams versus Flash Barker. We have Jodie Fleisch versus Johnny Storm. Drew McDonald, the Highlander from Hell, will take on Robbie Brookside, and Eddie Guerrero will take on Scott Parker.
And what is Flash Barker setting up here?
Oh, a somersault plancher into the crowd by Flash Barker. There we see a full 360 return, Dean.
And I tell you something, Flash Barker is not a cruiserweight. He's a big, big man, and to get that kind of agility is pretty incredible.
He's following it up now with a chop to the chest, leaving a mark on the body of Doug Williams, just like he'd like to leave a mark on the tournament here tonight. He's setting up Williams in the corner, putting him up on the top turnbuckle. I can only believe that this will mean something serious for the Anarchist.
Do you see the look, the dazed look on the Anarchist's face from that right hook from the Flash man?
What is this, Dean?
Painful, Mark.
Amazing!
Oh!
A Hurricane Rana!
did you see the way that the Anarchist landed right on his tailbone? That is going to cause him pain. If he wants to get through to the final of this tournament, that's the kind of move, the kind of injury that's going to niggle you throughout the whole tournament. Bad move on the part of Williams there.
But we go back to the fact that Flash Barker isn't a small man, as we see Doug Williams taking him down. A couple of forearms to the face. Barker is dazed. Doug Williams steps up onto the middle rope and double underhook suplex, taking down Flash Barker. And covering Doug.
Taking it out of both men. You could see the Anarchist struggling to his feet there. And what's he setting up now?
I've seen this before. It's the flash in the pan, taking Williams down to the mat, driving his skull into the hard canvas.
And did you see there? It took so much out of Williams, he couldn't kick out. He had to just reach over. Good ring positioning. There's where the experience of these two men is showing. He knew where he was in the ring and just put his foot on the ropes to break the pinfall.
Of course, in wrestling, Dean, you can break a pinfall two ways. One, by putting yourself... Oh! Revolution DDT by Doug Williams out of nowhere. That's a 3 count, just as I was explaining how you could break a count in wrestling. Doug Williams puts on such a move on Flash Barker, his signature Revolution DDT, that there's no way that Flash could kick out.
Where on his head?
From London, weighing in at 230 pounds, this is Solid Gold Scott Parker.
It's that second quarter-final, Dean, and it's Scott Parker versus Eddie Guerrero, but it should have been Alex Shane.
From El Paso, Texas, this is Eddie Guerrero.
Oh, enough already. Let me ask you something, Mark Priest. Have you ever made a mistake?
Rarely.
Now, come on. That was just a mistake. Justine Gale read the wrong number. Alex Shane and Eddie Guerrero were on concurrent numbers. It was a misread. You know, she misread it. Tommy stepped in, and all these. There's just paranoia. All this conspiracy theory stuff. Can we stop talking about Alex Shane and talk about this phenomenal wrestler by the name of Eddie Guerrero, who is in the tournament and is trying to become the King of England?
I'll agree with you there, Dean. Eddie Guerrero is a phenomenal talent. He's an amazing wrestler, a ring veteran. He's done it all in his career. He's been in the WWF, where, of course, he was Intercontinental Champion. He's been in WCW, where he held the United States title, when that belt meant something. He's been in ECW. He's been in Japan. He's been in Mexico.
You say he's done it all. He hasn't quite done it all, because there's one thing he hasn't done, and that's be crowned the King of England. And that's why he's here tonight in Crystal Palace. He's wrestled all over the world, but Europe is the one continent he hasn't got any accolades, and he's come here tonight to make amends.
Arm drag takedown by Scott Parker out of the abdominal stretch that Eddie was using to put pain on his opponent. Referee Andrew Coyne warning both men that this has to go to a result. We cannot have any draws here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. There has to be a result in every match. And oh! Andrew Coyne, our referee, has been knocked down. Accidentally, I'd say, Dean.
He was in the wrong place at the wrong time. That's all there was to it. I don't think anything malicious. And talk about a suicidal suplex from Guerrero. Oh, come on.
It's Alex Shane. Alex Shane, after a measure of revenge, he blames Eddie Guerrero. Perhaps he thinks he's in league with Tommy Boyd. And... oh! Scott Parker gets a chair in the face.
Oh, that's justice for you. Alex Shane got the chair back from Guerrero. And it looks like Guerrero is setting up for that frog splash. Bang!
Beautiful frog splash by Eddie Guerrero. A 3 count by referee Andrew Coyne. Eddie Guerrero progresses through to the next round of the tournament, where he'll face Doug Williams.
And check out the replay, Mark. The forearm across the face. That's an old British trick. Eddie Guerrero's been doing his homework.
Please welcome the Wonder Kid, Johnny Storm.
This is our third quarter-final. Let me remind you once again, we're seeing highlights of these early bouts.
Flying sensation. Please welcome Jody Fleisch.
Well, that's right, Mark. These two fought at Wrestle Express in a TLC tables, ladders and chairs match. It was in fact voted the British match of the year for 2001. And these two, again, know each other so well. They've wrestled so many times. And each and every time these two are put together in the ring, we get ourselves a classic. I'm licking my lips.
Thankfully, there are no ladders here tonight, Dean. The ring has been checked. No ladders, no tables, no chairs. It will be a straight wrestling match, and I, for one, am glad about that.
You believe that? These two thrive on danger. These two thrive on taking risks.
And look, they're matching each other move for move, going for the waist lock holds, rolling through, diving all over the place. I can barely keep up with them, Dean. How do they do it?
I think they're just showing off to each other, just showing I'm one step ahead of you. And now we've gone from the high-flying to basic chopping. And they've spotted something. What are they going to?
Oh, no! There's a ladder as Jody Fleisch is sent tumbling into the barrier. Johnny Storm has seen a ladder.
What were you saying before? They're both on top of it. This does not look good. Oh! He just tipped the ladder. And Jody Fleisch on top of it, that's a 10, 15-foot drop.
You see, Dean, this is what I was talking about. I was hoping they wouldn't be here because this is what could happen.
Where's Johnny Storm going now?
He's crossing himself for good luck.
Incredible!
He needed to cross himself there because that is a death-defying stunt. A full turn by Johnny Storm off that 15-foot ladder.
And you know, this is not good strategy on the parts of Johnny Storm and Jody Fleisch, because if they want to be the King of England, they've got to wrestle this and another 2 matches. And as you say, this is death-defying. This is not kind on the body. They're going to ache like hell after this. Bad move on their part, I'd say.
Oh! Johnny Storm sent crashing down to earth from that ladder. He landed hard, he landed badly. This could spell the end for Johnny Storm, Dean.
Straight into that ladder, and Johnny's head just meeting with the unforgiving steel, but he's back again.
Jody Fleisch, an incredible talent, Dean. He's fought all over the Orient.
Mark, I'm sorry to interrupt, but there you go. That's just what I was saying. These two know each other so well. They're on the same page, and Johnny Storm saw that move coming and reversed it in style.
But what does it say about the fight of the man, Dean? That Jody Fleisch was caught in midair. It was turned into a powerbomb, and yet he still kicked out on 2.
Well, that's what this tournament's about. The 720 DDT!
The Phoenix DDT by Jody Fleisch. A 3 count by referee Steve Linsky. Jody Fleisch progresses through to the semi-final of our tournament. What an incredible match between these 2 young stars.
Yes, he progresses, but at what price? How much has that ladder, how much of those death-defying dives taken out of him? Because let's face it, he's going to either fight Drew McDonald or Robbie Brookside. And whoever he meets of those 2, it's not exactly going to be easy.
Coming down the aisle from Scotland, here's the Highlander from hell, Drew McDonald.
This is going to be a brawl, Dean. That man there, the Highlander, Drew McDonald, a 20-year veteran of British wrestling.
And accompanying him, another veteran, Dino Scarlo.
And now, his opponent from Liverpool, Robbie Brookside.
And Drew McDonald might need all the help he can get from Dino Scarlo, because that is Robbie Brookside. Robbie Brookside was one of the most exciting British stars to explode in the 1980s in this country on our wrestling scene, and he's kept up a breakneck pace throughout his career, Dean.
Oh, he's still going strong. He debuted at 14 years of age. He's wrestled all over the place. He's wrestled in Germany. He's wrestled in the States. He's gone over to Japan. He fought some of New Japan's top light heavyweights. He's done it all, and so's Drew McDonald. This one should be good.
Robbie even has a pinfall victory over Chris Jericho in New Japan Pro Wrestling. That's what a caliber of athlete he is. He used to team with William Regal back in the days of the glory days of British wrestling. We're bringing those glory days back here tonight, Dean, and these 2 men are at the forefront of it.
Absolutely, and Drew McDonald's in trouble already. Brookside working on that arm.
Irish whip into the corner and a backdrop taking Drew McDonald down, and when you carrying the weight that Drew McDonald packs onto his frame, that's going to hurt.
What are you saying about Drew McDonald? This is on tape, you know. I wouldn't say anything bad about Drew McDonald if I were you.
It's true. Every time I risk saying anything about Drew, I take my life in my hands.
And Brookside setting up for the baseball slide.
Dino Scarlo grabbing Robbie Brookside, interfering in a match he has no business interfering in.
Excuse me, it's Dino Scarlo who's being grabbed by Brookside. Did you see that? He's brought... Look, what? Dino Scarlo is not a wrestler for this occasion. He's a manager. And then when people criticise managers for interfering in matches, I saw Robbie Brookside throw Dino Scarlo into the ring.
Dean, you should stay out of the kitchen if you can't stand the heat. And Dino Scarlo just got burned by Robbie Brookside.
This is disgraceful. Dino Scarlo is not the wrestler he's competing with, and he's manhandling him. Brookside should concentrate on Drew McDonald. Drew McDonald's his scheduled opponent, not Dino Scarlo. This is disgraceful.
If Drew and Dino want to make it 2-on-1, Dean, Robbie Brookside is more than prepared to take the fight to them.
Well, Dino's not happy, and rightfully so.
There's Robbie Brookside's signature finishing move, the cross-arm backlash move, and Dino Scarlo has pulled Robbie Brookside off the cover, breaking the 3 count. Referee Tony Giles needs to get on top of this.
Oh, why excuse me, why do we need to repeat this? I mean, you didn't see Robbie Brookside dragging Dino Scarlo repeated.
The Celtic Crusher from Drew McDonald, a 3 count. Robbie Brookside has been robbed. He had this match sewn up until Dino Scarlo broke the 3 count. There has been a robbery here tonight, and Drew and Dino are the culprits. We might even see them on Crime Watch UK, Dean.
Rubbish, Mark. I mean, let's face it, Robbie Brookside started it, Dino and Drew finished it. Simple.
Coming up after the break, we've got Nikita versus Lexi 5, a women's match. Our backstage cameras have caught Nikita on her way to the ring. What's going on there? Find out after the break. Welcome back to Revival for the King of England tournament. Let's get to Justine Gale in the ring.
First to the ring, she's the USA's most decorated independent women's wrestler, Lexi 5.
This is a special non-tournament matchup, a women's match between Lexi 5 from North Carolina in the United States and Nikita, famous for appearing on Tommy Boy's Talk Sports Saturday Night Wrestling Show.
Please welcome Nikita.
There's Nikita, Dean, looking good tonight, as she looks good every night.
Oh, looking good's all well and good, Mark Priest. And oh, there's her boyfriend. How touching.
Her boyfriend, former Gladiator Ace. He was a star of the old Gladiators TV show. He's here tonight, giving encouragement to his lady love.
Well, that was then, and this is now, and it's British wrestling that's back on our TV screens. And I'll tell you something, Nikita is going to have her work cut out, because Lexi Fife is one tough customer.
Lexi Fife is probably the most decorated women's wrestler in America. She has won so many titles in her long career, Dean, but she's come over here. I'm not going to say she's going to be Queen of England, because there's no such title here tonight. We're all about King of England. She's over here, though, to teach Nikita a lesson or two.
Oh, yeah, there's definitely a lot of pride on the line here. And Nikita's outweighed in the experience department, you could say, but she seems to be holding her own so far.
A side headlock cranked on by Nikita. Note that butcher's grip by the lady there, keeping it on, keeping it firm, making sure that Lexi can't get out. But she does, and goes for a hip toss, blocked by Nikita with a hip toss of her own, and now a drop kick.
And Lexi Fife definitely in trouble. It's been all Nikita so far. She's been all on offense. And we've got our first attempt at a pinfall.
was that? That was incredibly slow. Before the break, we saw that referee getting a kiss on the cheek from Lexi 5. I have to wonder what else went down in the locker room. And look, a quick count there. What's going on, Dean?
My God, there's so much paranoia around here today. The referee was simply getting himself in a good position to be able to see both shoulders. That's what you've got to do if you're going to be a good referee.
A crucifix, a roll through. Once again, a slow count. I can see it. Gladiator Ace can see it. Everybody in this arena can see it, Dean.
I wish that idiot would sit down. I want to look at the ladies, not that... Well, I don't know what to call him. I don't want to be taken off air.
This is wrong, Dean. That's the only word I'm thinking. This is a quick count by referee Mark Sloan. He's really getting those quick counts in. What has Lexi 5 promised him for his crooked, and I will use that word, Dean, crooked officiating?
You know, all he was doing, he was in a good position there. You know, luck of the draw. This way, the way these things work. But if can someone please eject that man from the building?
I have never, in all my years of calling wrestling matches, seen such crooked officiating. Nikita has already got her work cut out, fighting Lexi 5, who is an incredible talent. But to contend with that referee as well, it's 2-on-1, D.
And now look, even the referee stepping outside the ropes to actually admonish Gladiator Ace.
And here comes Gladiator Ace. He's had enough. I've had enough too. Get in there, Ace. Get him. Tell that referee exactly what you think of him.
How can you encourage him? This man's not a wrestler. He's an ex-gladiator, a has-been, someone who a relic from the 90s, and now he's in the ring attacking a referee. He has no place in this ring.
He may not be a wrestler, Dean, but he's surely putting it to that referee now, teaching him a lesson. And here we see the triple clothesline over the top.
You're right.
3 times as bad.
You're right, he's not a wrestler, and that's why it took him 3 attempts to get the man over the top. I'll say it again, he's got no business in this ring. Did you ever see Giant Haystack?
But Dean, let me interrupt you there. Let me interrupt you. An inside cradle. A small package. Mark Sloan makes the referee against his will, I'll admit, but justice has been done.
Mark Sloan didn't make the count. Ace made the count. I'm disgusted. Look at that. That's assault. Mark Sloan, get yourself a lawyer. Get a good solicitor. This is disgusting.
Nikita has cemented her reputation as the top lady wrestler. But let's get backstage. Drew McDonald, the Highlander from Hell, has some words for Jody Fleisch, his opponent in the semi-finals.
Well, that's it, people. The FWA war has begun. The casualties are piling up. The dead have been swept off to the morgue. And when it's all said and done, and the smoke from the battle is cleared, there'll be one man left standing. You're looking at him right here. Take a good, long look at the trick midget there. Because he'll be leaving this building in a body bag at the end of this. Do you get
The following match is the first semi-final in the King of England tournament and is set for 1-4. Coming down the aisle, we have from Scotland, the Highlander from Hell, Drew McDonald.
Here comes Drew Dean. We saw him earlier tonight in highlights from the quarter-final bout. He was wearing black then. He's changed into a satanic red. And he's accompanied, as always, by Dino Scarlo. And he's added another member to his entourage, a lady that we know only by the name Vixen. It all adds up to 3 times the trouble for Jody Fleisch. Jody already had his work cut out fighting that huge Scotsman. Now it's 3 times as bad.
And Drew McDonald's got to be licking his lips at this one. He's had a good rest, and he's also seen Jody and Johnny Storm try to kill each other in the previous match. Drew's going to the final.
It's gonna be the King of England!
From London, weighing in at 199 pounds, the
Jody holding his arm. I believe that was hurt in that altercation that we saw moments ago backstage, Dean.
That's right. Also, well, it's either that or the match with Johnny Storm, because I did notice him favouring that arm as he went up the rampway. We did say that ladder match was going to take it out of you, and I think my point has been proven.
Dean, it wasn't a ladder match, but I do take your point there. But now we look at Jody. Jody is £199. He's almost giving away £100 to Drew McDonald here. And you can understand if he'll be a little reluctant to get in that ring and hook up with Drew McDonald, the Highlander from Hell.
That's only because he knows he hasn't got a prayer. He's giving up weight, he's giving up experience, and he doesn't like his chances.
Once again, we see Jody not wanting to get into the ring straight away. He's buying time. Is this part of a plan, Dean? Is this part of his game plan tonight? Finally in the ring, there's a stare down between these two men. Jody Fleisch versus Drew McDonald. This is our first semi-final in our tournament tonight. The winner will go through the final and could be crowned King of England. But once again, Jody out of the ring, telling the crowd he's going to need a hand, asking for their support. Dean, the support of the crowd behind Jody Fleisch, this could give him all he needs. Is Drew being overconfident in not counting on Jody Fleisch and the crowd? What an awesome team they are. 2,000 people, and that man there, Jody the Phoenix Fleisch.
I don't think so. Drew McDonald's a 20-plus year veteran. He's not going to be distracted by trivialities. He's got a job to do. And look, you just look into the man's eyes. You can see the focus. He's going, can you imagine this? He's going to become a Scotsman who becomes the King of England.
Dean, that certainly hasn't happened for a couple of 100 years. In fact, I think the last time, didn't we behead the last Scotsman who was the monarch of this country? I think Jody Fleisch might have something similar in mind for Drew McDonald tonight. The crowd getting right behind Jody Fleisch. He's certainly the favourite here, if not in terms of who's going to win the match, but who the crowd are behind. Don't laugh, Dean. Don't encourage Dino Scarlo. The man is no better than a thug, an East End thug, a governor, if you will.
I'm sorry, but if these fans are going to be stupid enough to disrespect a man who's achieved as much as Dino Scarlo's achieved, then they get what they deserve.
Jody, look, always thinking, always one step ahead of his opponent. A shoulder block to the stomach sends Drew McDonald reeling. What's Jody setting up now? A spinning kick, a springboard kick, using the top rope to get extra height, and he's not finished there, Dean.
Oh, right on the throat! Right on his throat! But Drew manages to kick out, but look at the man's face. He's in trouble already.
We see the 450 splash in the replay. That knee driven into the throat of Drew McDonald, driving all the wind out. And what's this? A moonsault, but it missed. Drew McDonald having enough senses about him to get out of the way of Jody Fleisch.
You see, this is where the experience comes in. This is where the...
Dean, let me stop you there. What has Drew McDonald thrown to the outside? It looked like some kind of foreign object, and he's thrown it in the direction of Dino Scarlo.
It's probably some piece of litter that these uncivilized fans have lobbed into the ring.
Litter, my eye. It's some kind of weapon, and Dino Scarlo is jamming it into the eye of Jody Fleisch. Jody Fleisch is already in trouble in this match. Already in trouble, Dean.
He was trying to revive Jody, that's all. We want to get on with this match. You know, just a quick slam into the barriers. That'll clear the cobwebs out. And look, ever the gentleman, he helps him back into the ring. I applaud Dino Scarlo.
Dean, this may be revival tonight, but what Dino Scarlo was all about there was certainly not any revival at all. And look, Drew McDonald putting the pressure on the arm of Jody Fleisch, going for that injured arm. Jody is already winged, we'd say. If he was a duck and we were shooting at him, he's already been winged. But this is no duck shoot. This is Drew McDonald versus Jody Fleisch. And as the way it stands now, this may be like shooting fish in a barrel.
And a great move there by Drew. He hooked Jody's arm in a hammerlock and drove him down in a slam. All of Jody's weight falling on that arm. And this is what I'm saying. He is focused on the job in hand.
leg drop attempt to the outside, but Jody's too... A moonsault off the top rope, using it like a springboard again and taking down Dino Scalo. That, my friend, is karma. That is just dessert.
That is uncalled for. That's what that is.
Drew McDonald with a slap has taken down referee Andrew Coyne, and now he's throwing him out of the ring. What is he doing? This is not wrestling, Dean. This is not on. This isn't in the rules.
The referee, he said something about men in kilts. He got what he deserved. And now it's 2-on-1. It's 3-on-1 against Jody Fleisch.
A clothesline with the huge left forearm of Drew McDonald taking Jody down, and the referee again slammed into the ring steps. This is a mugging, Dean. This is no longer a wrestling match.
Straight into that chair. If I were Bill Apter, the photographer, I'd get the hell of a dodge, because this is a war zone now. And oh, that's the best Scottish header I've seen in years. But look at this, they're just dragging Jody Fleisch up the ramp. It's like they're taking a sacrifice to the altar, Mark Priest.
That's exactly what Drew McDonald is about. He calls himself the Highlander from hell. It's some kind of dark sacrifice here tonight, Dean. What have they got in mind for Jody Fleisch?
Jody is the sacrificial lamb, the lamb to the slaughter, and he's just going to be propelled back from whence he came. You know the history behind this. Dino Scalo trained up Jody Fleisch. He trained him in the noble British art of technical wrestling, but Jody wanted to fly. Jody wanted to show off. He turned his back on Dino Scalo, and you don't turn your back on the man who knows people, as you say, the man who I know as the governor.
Dean, give me a choice between watching Jody Fleisch and Dino Scalo, and I'll take Jody Fleisch every time. And I think every one of the 2,000 people in this arena would agree. Vixen raking Jody Fleisch with her nails. This has turned in... If Jody Fleisch had 4 tyres and a roof rack, Dean, this would be a carjacking.
Is that where your next champion's coming from? Is that where you're going to get the King of England? I don't think so.
Drew talking trash, not only to Jody, but to me, to you, Dean, and to all the viewers at home. He's made his intentions very clear. He wants to be the King of England.
Drew McDonald doesn't talk trash to me. Drew McDonald talks sense to me. And they are, as you say, mugging Jody Fleisch, because, you know, he asked for this. He brought this on himself. Payback's a bitch, isn't it? Oh, there he goes.
How on earth did Jody ask for this, Dean? All he ever wanted was to become King of England, to become king for a day. And look at the fans, Dean. The fans are protecting Jody Fleisch. They are getting in between him and the Double D, Dino and Drew. They don't want to give Jody back because they know exactly what that man's got on his mind, and it's murder.
Oh, they really helped. Another right slap across the face. I'll tell you something, Mark Priest. If I wanted protection, I'd call up the Double D, not these 2,000 morons at Crystal Palace. That's what I would do. And it's not over yet, because he's back on the wrong side of the barriers. He's back in the ring, and Jody Fleisch is not going to take much part more in this. He's out. He's gone. His career is in jeopardy, Mark Priest.
We saw referee Andrew Coyne a moment ago, Dean, lying on the ground, just coming round from his dream, from his stupor, and then another kick from Dino Scalo, knocking him out again. There is no referee controlling this match, Dean.
He wasn't in a dream. He was in a nightmare, just like Jody.
And Dino Scalo helping out Drew McDonald. Dean, if Drew McDonald is such an incredible wrestler, like you say, how come he needs 3 people to get the job done?
Why do you need to do it yourself when you've got 2 other people who are perfectly happy to help? It's a smart move by Drew McDonald. It means he can save himself for the final. He can save himself to be crowned King of England.
I would suggest to you, Dean, that Drew McDonald is scared of Jody Fleisch. And I'm not afraid to go on record and say it, because Jody Fleisch is one of the top wrestlers in the United Kingdom. He has wrestled in Japan. He's in great demand there. His style perfectly matches theirs. Just because he tries to bring a little something extra to British wrestling, does that mean he should be punished by those two thugs?
Did you see the look in Jody's eyes? I think he might think he's in Japan right now, because they're certainly making sushi out of his intestines with that clothes. Oh, this is fantastic.
I am shocked and sickened at what we are seeing here. This is a vulgar display of power by Drew McDonald and Dino Scarlo. Let's not forget Vixen on the outside. And what is Dino Scarlo doing now? I saw him in the break prowling around that ring. Oh no, that ring was checked earlier for tables and chairs, but Dino Scarlo has somehow found a way to get a table under the ring apron. They don't want to just beat Jody here today, Dean. It looks like they want to end his career.
Well, you know, Jody seems so fond of tables, they thought they'd bring one in for him. Again, excellent manners by the Double D. But you're right, they want to end this man's career. Dino Scarlo was the man who launched his career, and therefore he's got the right to end it.
It's all about the passing of the torch, Dean, or rather them being reluctant to do so. Sure, Drew McDonald is a fantastic talent, but it's time for him to move aside, because Jody Fleisch is the future of British wrestling.
Well, the future of British wrestling is just having his arm ripped out of its shoulder at the moment. And I tell you something, that table looks ominous, because in wrestling, tables aren't for eating your dinner off, tables are for putting people through.
I can only wonder in fear and shock at what they've got planned. It looks like they're trying to wreck that arm. They're not just going to try and break it, they're going to try and shatter it, because Dino Scarlo is going to the top rope.
Now, Dino Scarlo does not go to the top rope. There's
Robbie Brookside!
Oh, Dino just went, his head hit the edge of that table, Mark. It's all going wrong. Dino Scarlo doesn't go to the top rope, and the plan has backfired here, I think.
The cavalry arrived in the shape of Robbie Brookside. He pulled Drew McDonald away, and Jody Fleisch is up. It's a sunset flip off the top rope. Robbie Brookside has revived the referee. There's a 3 count. Jody Fleisch has beaten Drew McDonald. David has beaten Goliath, Dean.
What the hell was Robbie Brookside doing here? What was it? Look at Dino's face, it's too graphic for Bravo. But Robbie Brookside sticks his nose in, you know, but he's just stolen the crown of the King of England from right under Dino and Drew's noses. It's disgusting.
Well, Drew's going home. Dino is bleeding. Robbie has gained a small measure of revenge, and Jody is on his way to the final. To find out who he'll meet, either Eddie Guerrero or Doug Williams, join us after these words.
Mr. Guerrero, I understand you're a big star. You've wrestled all over the world. Therefore, you can expect me to show you a bit of humility and a bit of respect. But that's not going to happen. What you want and what you get are two very different things. You may well have wrestled in the United States, in Mexico and Japan, but now you're in Great Britain. You're on my home territory, my turf. And it is you who's going to find out what British wrestling is all about. Oh, and Eddie, when I beat you, it is you who's going to show me, Doug Williams, a bit of humility and a bit of respect.
Welcome back to Revival for the King of England tournament. This should be our second semi-final matchup, but the party has been gate-crashed by the 7-foot German, Ulf Hermann. Coming to the ring, breathing fire. Now, Dean, what's on Ulf's mind? I know he was understandably annoyed at not being drawn out for the tournament, but what's he doing here?
Well, he's here because he flew in from Germany and has been ignored. He's not been included in this tournament. and so he's got a point to prove.
Then we see the fans getting in Ulf's face, telling him what they think of him.
Oh,
No! That is a fan from the crowd. We do not condone this kind of action.
oh, he just drove his head into the floor. I'll tell you something, Mark Priest, these new school fans have no respect for the wrestlers. So what do you do when you're Ulf Herman? You beat it into them.
Ringside security checking on the fan, and Ulf Herman showing zero respect for the security team as well. That's the head of security here at the event tonight, Hayes Vanson, and Ulf Herman is tossing him around like a rag doll, Dean.
He doesn't seem to know where he is. And, well, I've heard of someone being out on their feet. He's out on his shoulders. Goodbye!
A devastating, twisting powerbomb from Ulf Herman. That man in the ring there is not a wrestler. Ulf Herman is up control.
You better suss
Oh, no, not this idiot.
The Revival theme signals the arrival of Brian Christopher, the former Grandmaster Sexay in the WWF. He's here to put a stop to Ulf Herman's out-of-control shenanigans. Ulf Herman has stepped over the line, and Brian Christopher is here to redraw that line, Dean.
Who is Brian Christopher to tell a man like Ulf Herman what he can and can't do? Who made this man, look at him, his Timmy Malice on protein shakes. Who made him the policeman of this event?
I don't know who made him the policeman of the event, Dean, but I'm glad someone did, because Ulf Herman went a step too far in attacking that fan, in attacking the security team. It takes a pro wrestler like Brian Christopher to come out here and put a stop to it. And a low blow by Brian Christopher, taking Ulf Herman down to the mat.
Oh yeah, that's really the sign of quality, classy wrestler, isn't it? Punching below the belt. You see Ulf coming here with his textbook moves, like a great big boot there, the Greco-Roman boot to the face, not some low blow.
Herman following it up with a leg drop, but he misses. Brian Christopher too quick for him, and that's the way he's going to beat him here tonight, Dean, by being faster and outthinking the huge German.
Absolutely, he's got a stick and move, catch Ulf by surprise like that, a great flying drop kick off the top rope straight to the face, and he looks like he's going to try and fly baseball slide drop kick, and this is how he would have to beat Ulf Herman. Well, I sincerely hope he doesn't.
Ulf Herman went outside to try and find a bit of respite, to try and have a rest from the onslaught of Brian Christopher. Instead, all he's found is a hard floor and an even harder boot by Brian Christopher. Hard fists, hard head, hard feet. That's the way Christopher aims to teach Ulf Herman a lesson for picking on that fan.
And hard steel meets Brian Christopher's not quite so hard throat, as Ulf tells the fans he thinks they're number one, and a big right hand to the former Grandmaster.
Attempted Irish whip, reversed, and Ulf Herman has folded that steel barrier almost in two. It looks like a wrecked shopping basket, Dean.
Well, that just goes to show the size of this giant German, Ulf Herman, as Brian Christopher once again takes to the air. This is his strategy. And it was very nearly caught, and they've got tangled up in the ropes there, and it looks like Brian Christopher's hurting. Great move from Herman.
It was a flying crossbody attempt, Dean. I don't think Ulf Herman had anything to do with Brian Christopher hurting himself there. It was simply an accident of fate, but it could be the turning point in this match as Ulf Herman goes straight to that arm.
Absolutely a smart move, an opportunist move there, showing the experience of Ulf Herman, just picking up, capitalising on the error, capitalising on a chance. A big suplex has got Brian Christopher in trouble.
Dean, let's play a game of what if for a second. What if Ulf Herman had not been drawn in the tournament? What if he had been one of those 8 men? Do you think a German could be King of England?
Absolutely, Ulf Herman would really have been a dark horse. You can never write the man off, you can never underestimate him. He's crazy, he's unpredictable, he doesn't care about anybody else. And, well, I think that all the other 16 people who are drawn in this tournament are pretty glad that it's Brian Christopher and not them who's on the end of this beating.
Ulf going upstairs now. He's lifted Brian Christopher onto the top of the turnbuckle. He's got a superplex in mind. That is a Commodore Garden suplex with the added power of being up on the top turnbuckle for those unfamiliar with the term.
And the added height of being 7 feet up in the air when Ulf has you on his shoulders. Look at the smile on his face. He knows this is going to plan, and he's teaching this redneck chicken farmer who decided to stick his nose into Ulf's business one lesson he'll never forget.
Will you stop, Dean? Ulf Herman, you know, one thing, Dean, when we're talking of rednecks and the kind of haircut you'd expect to see on one of those rednecks, it does surprise me that a man like Ulf Herman, a stylish German as you would have it, is wearing such a haircut.
Well, when you're Ulf Herman's size, you can have whatever haircut you want. Let's face it, Mark Priest, are you going to tell him his hair looks stupid? And there we have a camel clutch, reminiscent of the legend of wrestling that is the Iron Sheik. And he would say here, Ulf Herman, #1, Brian Christopher, pa!
Ulf really cranking back on that neck now. Brian Christopher must be in a whole world of hurt. And Ulf putting the fingers in the mouth. But Brian Christopher's biting him. A bite, Dean. You have to do anything to get the job done when you're against a giant like Ulf Herman.
All I've seen this man do so far is punch below the belt and bite. I mean, this man isn't a wrestler. He's just a thug. I'm surprised he didn't bring a gun to the ring.
And enziguri, a kick to the back of the head by Brian Christopher. The momentum has begun to swing the other way, Dean. And a flying crossbody, taking both men out of the ring, down to the hard concrete floor.
Well, you know, that's the second time Brian Christopher's tried that move, and the second time he's come into trouble. It just shows the stupidity of the man. He doesn't learn from his mistakes.
Christopher back in control now, picking up Ulf Herman. He's rung his bell on the timekeeper's table. Timekeeper Adam South trying to get out of the way of these two brawling combatants. But it's Brian Christopher who's on top now, throwing Ulf Herman into the crowd. If you're sitting in the front row at this event, you need to be wearing a crash helmet because the wrestlers are coming right onto your laps. There's no escape here.
This is right, Mark Priest. This is degenerating into a street brawl. And I'll tell you why. Because this man, Brian Christopher, he grew up in Memphis. And if there's one place in the world that's known for violent brawling, it is that very place, Memphis, Tennessee.
Ulf Herman taking a sign from a fan which proclaimed their support for Brian Christopher, hoisting Christopher by his own petard, if you will, before slamming him down onto the concrete floor. We do have padding around the ring, but out there on the floor amongst the fans, there's no such padding, Dean. It's just solid concrete.
Well, I think our security guys deserve a bonus tonight because it just goes to show the Crystal Palace Indoor Arena isn't big enough to hold all this action. How dare you have a sign that says Ulf sucks? Everybody knows Ulf is good.
Christopher back on top, those hard right hands, closed fists to the head of Ulf Herman. The referee allowing a great deal of leeway in this match as Brian Christopher goes for a steel chair. He's got mayhem on his mind. He's got mischief on his mind. This is the famous Memphis brawling style you were talking of earlier, made famous by Brian Christopher's father, Jerry Lawler. As Ulf Herman tumbles to the ground, Dean, how do you like your boy's chances now?
Well, it's a good job the referee is lenient because if he wasn't, Brian Christopher would have been disqualified in the first 60 seconds. I don't think he can wrestle clean.
Would you say that Brian Christopher is a man who is resting on his laurels, trading on his reputation, Dean?
He's a man who's going to be resting flat on his back very shortly. That's what he is, because he's overmatched and the referee takes a tumble.
Referee Steve Linsky knocked down by both wrestlers, managing to make the one count on instinct, but he's out like a light. wrestlers, referees, commentators, we all do it on instinct, Dean. Steve Linsky, no different. But look at him, he's spark out. He may as well be on a different planet. And as far as Brian Christopher's concerned, he is now.
He looks like you last night, Mark Priest, in that bar. But I'll tell you something, this isn't a good sign because it means even more mayhem, even more rule breaking, and
the fans are loving it, Dean. Brian Christopher, a baseball side through the legs to a super kick, and now he's going up top. He's putting on those glasses, and you know what this means. I know what this means. More importantly, the fans know the hip-hop drop.
I thought you meant it was time for Mallet's mallet, but no, here he comes.
The hip-hop drop hit. He's covered Old Furman. 1, 2, 3.
But there's no referee. And why is there no referee? Because you, Brian Christopher, threw him out of the ring. You get what you deserve. You reap what you sow. Steve Linsky's spark out, and this is definitely the chickens are coming home to roost, you may say, Mark Priest.
Old Furman reaching under the ring for something as Brian Christopher tries to revive the referee. He's got a tea tray. It's a metal tea tray and it's creased.
1, 2, 3, auf Wiedersehen. That's what an oath is saying. He's gone.
A huge upset win for Old Furman, beating Brian Christopher. Herman wins, Christopher loses. Put this one in the history books. It wasn't supposed to be a match, Dean, but we had one anyway. We were supposed to have our second semi-final tonight. Doug Williams versus Eddie Guerrero. Instead, we got Old Furman versus Brian Christopher. It's all over.
This is just the beginning. It's a step before. Nobody's perfect, but I'm pretty close.
Let's get backstage to Eddie Guerrero. He's got some words to say about Doug Williams.
Orale, homies, that's right, man. It's me, Eddie Guerrero. And I'm here in the King of England tournament. And you guys are putting me up against Doug Williams? I mean, come on. Don't you have anything better for me, you see? You know, Doug, I don't know if you know what you're in for, man. I mean, come on, Mr. Vato. Do you really think you got anything on me, man? I'm the greatest wrestler ever to come out of Mexico, ever to come out of any Latin place in the world. I said, Doug, you got your work cut out for you. I said, homie, tonight you gotta see what I'm really all about. Don't mess with me, Jack.
Following match is the second semi-final match in the King of England tournament, and it's set for 1 fall. First to the ring, please welcome from Maidstone in Kent, and weighing in at 230 pounds, the anarchist, Doug Williams.
Well, after that unscheduled interruption that was Old Furman versus Brian Christopher, we get back to business. More specifically, the second semi-final of the King of England tournament. And their Dean is many people's pre-tournament favourite, the anarchist Doug Williams.
Yes, the man described as the most underrated wrestler in the universe by one very influential journalist, and he's got to be the favourite for this one.
And his opponent from El Paso in Texas, Eddie Guerrero.
The crowd on their feet for Eddie Guerrero. He's the one they want to see, the international superstar, and they're all behind him in this battle. And let's make no bones about it, Dean, it will be a battle between himself, Eddie Guerrero, former ECW, former WCW, former WWF superstar, and Doug the Anarchist Williams.
Well, that's right. Eddie Guerrero has the experience advantage. Doug Williams has the home advantage. He's used to this ring. He's used to these people. This is going to be an absolute masterclass in the art of wrestling.
It should be, and I hope the fans here appreciate it, because this is going to be something rare, something you don't see all that often in the world of big-time professional wrestling. It's two men on top of their game, trading holds, trading counters. It's going to be awesome, Dean.
They both look in tremendous shape. They both look focused. And of course, whoever wins this will go through to the final to meet whatever's left of the carcass of Jody Fleisch.
But we have had word from the back that paramedics are attending to Jody Fleisch. They're trying to get him ready for the final. If I know the fighting spirit of that man, he'll take his place in the final. But after that war with Drew McDonald and Dino Scarlo, he must be in poor shape.
He doesn't need paramedics, he needs a priest for the last rites. But let's get back to the action in the ring. Eddie Guerrero tying Doug Williams up.
He's got those legs locked. And now I believe he'll go for the arms. If I know this move well, he's putting the pressure on the legs. He needs to stop Doug Williams trying to escape from the move. But Doug Williams is canny. He's a ring veteran himself, Dean.
Can he indeed? Because look at that escape straight into a headlock. Guerrero spins him out, and look at that, back to the legs again. Smart move from Guerrero. If you take the man's legs away, his movement, his mobility is limited. Very clever stuff.
But Doug Williams has already had to overcome Flash Barker here tonight. And Eddie Guerrero bending Doug's body in ways that it wasn't supposed to bend. Doug isn't made of pipe cleaners, Dean. He's a human being.
And an STF step over toe hold and face lock into, and Doug has now reversed it. This is great scientific, technical wrestling, the kind of stuff that British wrestling put itself on the worldwide map in the 70s and 80s.
Dean, they're doing these moves so fast that you and I can hardly keep up with them. And now it's Doug Williams' turn to go back on the offense. He's going on the arm of Eddie Guerrero, but Eddie Guerrero fighting back. We're into a knuckle lock situation, a test of strength. Who do you bet on in this situation? I wouldn't even like to wonder about it.
And you don't need to bet, because a great move from Guerrero, spins himself round, kicks Williams in the head. He wasn't expecting that, but Williams firing back. And we're now into a bit of a slugfest here.
The forearms from Williams, Dean, they were met with a rake of the eyes by Eddie Guerrero, and a step on Williams' face, the turn round, causing that face to distort in a way that Doug Williams surely wouldn't want it to be. He's a handsome fellow, Dean.
Well, it's a patented move by Guerrero there, that spin over the face. But now Doug Williams cutting off the air supply with a modified head scissors, I guess you'd call that.
He's really cranking down on the head of Eddie Guerrero, not only cutting off the air supply, but also causing some pain. But look at Eddie Guerrero. Look at the ease with which he escapes from that move, and it's back to those legs.
And it looks like he's setting him up now for the surfboard, a well-known move over Mexico way. Bending that spine, stretching the abdominal muscles if he can get him up. He's trying.
Doug Williams fighting it every inch of the way, but that fight gave up. There's no more resistance. And look at that position that he has Doug Williams in. The pain must be shooting through the synapses and nerve ends of the anarchist.
It was only the rope that saved him there, Mark Priest. And now Doug Williams is slumped in the corner as Eddie Guerrero works over his back.
A drop kick to the back of the anarchist. Eddie Guerrero began by working on the legs of Doug Williams. He's moving up the body, Dean. Where can it end? Will it end with the head?
Well, he's certainly getting inside Williams' head by keep going back to those legs. There you go again. How demoralizing must it be? How psychologically must Doug Williams be affected when he keeps getting caught with the same kind of move?
And a rolling senton over the top rope. Eddie Guerrero's back colliding with Doug Williams' back, but with Guerrero being the aggressor, the pain was all on the anarchist. But Doug Williams fighting back now. Forearms, uppercuts, and a huge knee to the throat of Guerrero. It's Williams on top, Guerrero down.
Just gets the 2 count there. A European uppercut was followed up by a Japanese-style knee to the face, showing how Williams and Guerrero, for that matter, have styled their offense from all over the world. One big melting pot of different variations of wrestling styles.
Dean, it's the United Nations of wrestling moves here tonight, but Eddie Guerrero finding a good old Mexican sneak there, getting out of the way. Doug Williams crashing into the turnbuckle, and it's back to those legs with, look, A British figure four by Eddie Guerrero.
Indeed, a British move. And doesn't this speak volumes about Eddie Guerrero? He's a busy man. He's wrestling all over the world. And yet that move shows to me that he's taken the time to scout the British wrestling scene and scout Doug Williams. And that just goes to show the importance and the magnitude of this event and how important it is for Guerrero to be crowned the King of England.
Dean, you know what worries me here tonight is that we have to have a winner, but these two could go all night. If we reach the time limit, we have to toss a coin to see which man goes through at the final, and that would be very unsatisfactory. No way to split these two. They could go all night, Dean. The lights would have to be turned out if we didn't have that time limit.
Well, Guerrero trying to make sure that this match is ended quickly. A great variation of a cradle there. And that's the thing with Guerrero. He can pin you in so many ways and so quickly. And Williams, indeed, Williams going for a quick pinfall as well. This is lightning-paced, Mark Priest.
You see what I was saying, though, Dean? It's like two twin brothers. OK, one has a better haircut than the other. One doesn't have a moustache, and one isn't Mexican. But they're twins in the ring. Ring twins, if you will.
Twin brothers from different mothers, indeed, Mark Priest. And look at Guerrero. What's he doing? He's back on the legs. And Williams is in the middle of the ring. No ropes to go to this time. This is the experience counting. Guerrero has got such a great mind for this business. He grew up in it. His brothers, cousins, nephews, everyone wrestled in the Guerrero family.
What about his grandmother?
I don't know about her, I'm afraid. I don't know everything, Mark Priest. Do you expect me to know everything from this business?
By the way you talk, Dean, it seems as though you sometimes do claim to know everything. I'm glad to have found a fact you didn't know. As Doug Williams goes to the top rope with a huge knee drop from the top. The bomb scare knee drop, taking Eddie Guerrero down, but only a 2 count.
The bomb scare knee drop, huh? It's a devastating looking move, whatever you want to call it. And Guerrero's definitely been rattled by that. He's shaken up, he's slowed down a little.
But he comes back with a Hurricane Rana, a head scissors, sometimes called a Frankensteiner. Getting a 2 count of his own. Eddie Guerrero's legs clamped around the head of Doug Williams, throwing his own weight backwards, driving Williams' head into the mat, Dean.
And look at the frustration etched across Williams' face. He thought he'd got Guerrero on the back foot, and just when he was beginning to get a little bit complacent, Guerrero hits back with that Hurricane Rana.
Dean, we talked earlier about a Scotsman becoming King of England, or a German becoming King of England. Would you be happy with a man with Screw Britannia written on the back of his trunks being your king?
Well, if he continues to make mistakes like that, he won't be. Great move from Guerrero. Again, ring generalship there. He just lifted his body up, let Williams land, and slumped back down for a very casual, nonchalant cover. Maybe if he'd covered him a little better, he'd have got the 3 count. And there is the Gory Special.
A move invented by Eddie Guerrero's father, Gory Guerrero. That's where it gets his name. As you can see, Doug Williams' whole body was being stretched. Guerrero drops him down for a 2 cover. Williams flips him over for a 2 of his own. Yet another 2. And a 2 again. Add all these 2s up, what do you get? A wrestling masterclass.
But look at that. Just as the pace was quickening, Guerrero stops Williams in his tracks with a short, sharp clothesline. Great move from Guerrero.
He whips Williams into the rope and catches a modified sleeper hold on. He's trying to fight, trying to drive all the fight, all the air, all the energy out of Doug Williams. But look at that! That was an amateur wrestling, a Greco-Roman throw by Doug Williams, taking Guerrero down.
Just a 2 count. This is a fascinating battle because both of these men are trying to dictate the pace. They're trying to... look at that! Nearly. Guerrero again. Just, you blink and you miss a pinfall attempt.
It's an inside cradle roll through as Guerrero pushes Williams down to the mat, grinding his face into that canvas and cranking back on the arm. Doug Williams must be in enormous pain, Dean.
Well, Doug Williams has had problems with that arm in the past. He's hyperextended and dislocated it before, and it's just another example of how Guerrero has really done his homework on this man, the anarchist, Doug Williams.
A stalling brain brainbuster by Eddie Guerrero, but he picks Williams up before the 2 count. Look at him, he's saying again.
He's not finished yet.
Another stalling brainbuster, taking Doug Williams down, and now Guerrero has him in position. He's signalling to the crowd. They know what's coming, Dean.
Oh, it's frog splash time, his signature move. This is what finished off Scott Parker. He's 3 seconds away. No, he went for a senton.
Williams countered it. Revolution. Revolution DDT countered by Eddie Guerrero. That was Doug Williams' finishing move. And a Mahistyle cradle rolled through.
He blocks it, Mark Priest. Fantastic. He blocks the roll through. Eddie Guerrero was about 3/4 of the way there. Look at this on the replay. Guerrero's 3/4 of the way there. Wim stops him, hooks that leg. There's nowhere for Guerrero to go. He's all tied up in Williams' body. And Doug Williams is on his way to the final.
Doug Williams through to the final of the King of England tournament, where he will, we've just got word, face Jody Fleisch. Coming up next, we've got a special non-tournament match between Alex Shane, the show stealer, and Solid Gold Scott Parker. Here we see is what went down earlier. Alex Shane, angry at not being in the tournament, attacked Eddie Guerrero, but ended up getting hold of Scott.
What the hell's going on, Alex Shane? What are you playing at? First things first, Scott Parker, you need to calm down. And then come out there, sitting there doing your match to lose it for you. I came out there because I saw Guerrero over a chair, and I thought he was going to beat you across the head with it. You're a friend of mine, I tried to step in. Okay, I'm sorry for costing the match, man. I'm really sorry. That's just not good enough. Come on then! That's not good enough, Alex. You're too clumsy. Show stealer. I want a rematch. I want a match right here tonight with you. Full count anywhere, you and me. I want to prove to you I'm worth my weight in solid gold. Scott Parker, tonight, right here, it's going to be like this. I am going to kick your ass all around this arena. And there are 2 things you can do about it, son, and that's nothing and like it. So I think I'll see you in the ring. Wherever you can, sunshine, wherever you can. See you.
Challenge match. It's going to be forced under 4 counts anywhere rules. That means there will be no disqualification and you can pin your opponent anywhere at all in the building. First to the ring, from London, weighing in at 230 pounds, Solid Gold Scott Parker.
Welcome back to Revival for the King of England tournament, and this is an unscheduled non-tournament match featuring that man there, Solid Gold Scott Parker, and the show stealer Alex Shane. It came about as a result of an altercation earlier this evening when Alex Shane, who had been robbed of a place in the tournament by Tommy Boyd, got into a bit of a mix-up, a bit of a fight with Scott Parker. It's resulted in them butting heads in the ring tonight. 4s count anywhere. Anything could happen.
Alex Shane, you call yourself a show stealer. All you've stolen tonight is my chance to be the King of England.
Here comes Alex Shane, the fans' favourite. They love him. He stars every Saturday night on Talk Sport, the show with Tommy Boyd, the man who, ironically, has robbed him of a chance to become the King of England in tonight's tournament. Scott Parker just happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time, kind of like Alex Shane's nose. As we can see, he's wearing a plaster on it because it was broken earlier by a chair shot from Eddie Guerrero.
Guys, the first thing I've got to say, this has been a terrible night for the show stealer. First of all, Tommy Boyd screws me out of my place at the King of England tourney. And secondly, I get my face bust open by Eddie Guerrero. Well, there's only one way of salvaging this show, and that's living up to Alex Shane's name and stealing it. So Solid Gold Scott Parker, I'm going to kick your ass all around this building, and there are 2 things you can do about it. That's nothing and
Parker showing his contempt for Alex Shane, but he better show a little respect because Alex Shane is one of the top men in British wrestling, Dean.
Well, Alex Shane may be one of the top men. He's also one of the most boring whingers. All I'm hearing from him, I was robbed, I was cheated. No, Alex Shane, you didn't make the luck of the draw. You weren't one of those 8 people, just like Pliers or Ash and Curb. Do you see them moaning? No. Alex Shane, basically, his ego can't take the fact that he wasn't in this draw, and so he now has the audacity to say he's going to salvage the show. Doesn't the King of England tournament mean anything now Alex Shane's not in it?
But we'll have the final coming up later, and oh! Scott Parker sent tumbling to the ground by Alex Shane. That's over 20 stone of 6'7" muscle coming at him from over the top rope. Alex Shane is certainly out to steal the show. He's begun like nobody's business, Dean.
But Scott Parker counters, and if I know Parker, here comes the gold rush.
He's certainly panning for gold out there, and he found it in the shape of Alex Shane. He's covering him. Only a 2 count. Referee Tony Giles quick onto the action. Remember, this is Falls Count Anywhere. You can pin your man anywhere within the 4 walls of this building, Dean.
Just the 4 walls. You can't take it outside.
No, it has to be inside. It's not a city limits match, Dean. I thought you'd know better. Only a 2 count again by Alex Shane. Back in the ring. Resembling a little bit more of a traditional wrestling match at the moment, as Alex Shane putting the hurt on Scott Parker.
Well, he's just trying to weaken Solid Gold, and as much as it pains me to say, it's quite a smart move from Shane as he hits a cutter, because Scott Parker has already wrestled once today. Alex Shane's fresh, but he only gets a 2 count.
That was a pump handle cutter there, a unique move invented by Alex Shane. He really is an awesome talent. It's no wonder most of the 2,000 fans in the arena tonight are getting behind the show stealer. Scott Parker looking for a breather on the outside. Alex Shane beckoning him back in.
The Shane-sation, I beg your pardon.
The Shane-sation kick. Alex Shane turning a full circle, driving his boot into the side of Scott Parker's head. And Scott Parker better watch out now, because Alex Shane has deposited him in the front row.
Well, I was going to say that again we're outside over the barriers, but I guess at least in this case it is the Falls Count Anywhere, and just a 2 count.
Alex Shane out with his fans. Look at them, they love him. He's trying for another 3 count, only gets a 2 again, and one of his fans is saying, use me, Alex, use me as a weapon.
That's a fan. My God, if I had freaks, fans that looked like that, some bizarre freak of a man, I wouldn't want to know.
Where are they going, Dean? They're going up onto the balcony. Alex Shane trying to powerbomb or pile drive Scott Parker, a backdrop, sending him crashing down. There's no padding up there. Referee Tony Giles down, only a 2 count again. This one is hotting up, Dean.
This doesn't look good. Oh my word! He just threw him off the balcony, Mark Priest. That's got to be 30 feet up. And thankfully some of his fans were there to catch him.
But they were sent tumbling down like 9 pins, and Scott Parker is up. Scott Parker is celebrating. What's he got in mind now? He's pointing down at the show stealer.
No way. No way!
Oh my word! Scott Parker throwing himself off a 30-foot balcony on top of Alex Shane, and it looks like half the crowd.
It looks like the parting of the Red Sea, Mark Priest. This is incredible. This is death-defying. These men aren't just putting their careers, they're putting their lives in jeopardy. And this goes to show how high the stakes are, how the King of England tournament has divided what was once a close friendship between these 2 men.
Because let's not forget, these 2 men aren't in the King of England tournament. Alex was screwed out of it by Tommy Boyd, and Scott Parker has already been eliminated. It's all about pride, and it's all about a missed moonsault by Scott Parker. Alex Shane scouted it well, managed to move out of the way. Scott Parker hit nothing but mat.
Did you see the marks on Parker's back as he gets another one added to him from that slam and slingshot leg drop?
Only a 2 count again by referee Tony Giles. These two men are out of it, Dean. They've both gone off a 30-foot balcony.
The blood trickling down Alex Shane's face. They both look dazed, disorientated. And a diamond dust style move there.
Only a 2 count again. Alex Shane managing to make it to the ropes. Let me clarify, this may be false count anywhere, but within those 4 ropes, the traditional ways of breaking a count still apply. But referee Tony Giles has gone down. Alex Shane pushed Scott Parker into the referee, and now Scott Parker is up. Golden arrow! The golden arrow finishing manoeuvre. Scott Parker is covering Alex Shane. He's signalled a 3 count, but there's no referee.
And that golden arrow came about because Parker managed to get out of that attempt of a one-night stand. Alex Shane's finishing move, and he's going for it again and hits it this time.
There it is, the one-night stand. Tony Giles is up. 1, 2, 3. It's all over. Alex Shane, the show stealer, has regained a semblance of pride, Dean.
You get dropped from 6'7" in that move, and it's all over every time.
Coming up next, we've got the King of England final between Doug the Anarchist Williams and Jody Fleisch. They both fought through 2 matches to get here. Who's going to win? If you join us after the break, I promise you won't miss a jot of action, and we'll crown the King of England.
You know what I say? Out there in the ring, man, we have our characters and we do what we do. But on a serious note, I want all you children to understand that we are trained professionals and we know what we're doing. Don't try this at home. You can get seriously hurt.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, this is the final of the tournament. And the winner of this match will be crowned the King of England Wrestling Champion. First to the ring, from Maidstone in Kent, and weighing in at 230 pounds, the Anarchist, Doug Williams.
Welcome back to Revival, and this is the final of the King of England tournament. It's all come down to this. The Anarchist, Doug Williams, who has fought past Eddie Guerrero and Flash Barker to be here. He will be taking on the Phoenix, Jody Fleisch.
And now, his opponent from London, weighing 199 pounds, Jody Fleisch.
And here comes Jody to the ring, holding that arm that we saw him injure earlier tonight. First in a match with Johnny Storm, and then in a war with Drew McDonald and Dino Scarlo-Dean.
Well, you've got to go with Doug Williams. He's got to be the favourite for this. But the final of the King of England has come down to the 2 men who've made names for themselves both at home and abroad. Jody Fleisch with Michinoku Pro Wrestling in Japan, and Doug Williams at that King of the Indies tournament in America last summer. And they're both carrying the torch of British wrestling into this final.
Doug Williams indeed did make a splash in the King of the Indies. He was called the greatest wrestler you've never seen. But now you have seen him. You've seen him here on Revival. You've seen him in the King of England tournament. And Dean, there's a very good chance that come the end of this match, Doug will be the King of England.
Doug Williams or Jody Fleisch, one of them is going to make history. And everyone from all around the world is here. Bill Apter, the world-famous wrestling photographer, has been present at ringside. Just shows you the magnitude of this event. And Doug Williams starting where he left off against Eddie Guerrero with some great technical wrestling.
It's a great opening exchange between these two and a standoff now. The fans very, very appreciative of what they're seeing before them. And that's been a theme all the way through tonight, Dick. The fans have been fantastic. I hope you're enjoying it as much at home as these fans appear to be enjoying it here in the arena tonight.
The atmosphere in the Crystal Palace Indoor Arena is like nothing I've ever experienced for a British wrestling show. The fans, as you say, are really into it. They're loving this. And this has been a tremendous night of action, and it's not over yet.
Dean, look at that innovative move by the Anarchist. A knuckle lock together with those legs tied up. He's got Jody tied up in ways that a human body isn't meant to go. And look at this, he's flipped it over. Both men in impossible knots. What is happening here? Look at the athleticism, Dean.
This is a test of pride as well, to see who would relinquish their position first. They're slapping each other across the face. Innovative offense is what Doug Williams and Jody Fleisch are known the world over.
Referee Andrew Coyne trying to get them back together, get them fighting. This one hasn't really started yet, Dean. It's a feeling out process, but when it does go off, it's going to be like a firework.
Well, that's as Jody just kicks the taste out of Williams' mouth. You're quite right, Mark Priest. Nobody wants to make an error. The stakes are too high.
And Dean, look at the athleticism of Jody Fleisch. He's like a circus acrobat, except I've never seen one of the flying Gandolfinis kick his brother in the face. Doug on the outside, taking a breather. He needs it because Jody Fleisch is well on top, and the fans are getting in Doug Williams' face here tonight. Jody is the firm favourite with each and every supporter in this arena. Perhaps even Doug Williams' own family, who are sitting in row F, are getting behind Jody Fleisch. That's how much of a fan favourite he is, but that's almost, he's going to need every one of them, Dean.
Well, Jody Fleisch might be a favourite with the fans, but Doug Williams is a favourite among people like my good self who actually know what they're talking about, because Jody Fleisch has had such a horrendous journey to this final that there can't be much fuel left in his tank. As Doug Williams stomps away on the head of the Phoenix.
It's true, Dean, that Jody has had a hellish journey to get here. And talking of hell, the Highlander from hell, Drew McDonald, was perhaps the biggest obstacle that anyone could ever face in this tournament. And he certainly made sure that he and his manager, Dino Scarlo, did a number on that arm of Jody Fleisch, and Doug Williams going after that same limb.
And just like we said with the Guerrero semi-final, where Williams was trying to dictate the pace, he's doing just that, working over the arm as well, but he's grounded the Phoenix. And let's face it, if you're on the mat, you can't fly. Great strategy from the Anarchist.
He's got Jody tied up, pressure on that elbow. There's nothing Jody Fleisch can do. Referee Andrew Coyne getting in the face of the Phoenix, asking him if he wants to quit, and Doug Williams rolling through again, putting more pressure on the arm and the elbow of Jody Fleisch. Things are looking bleak for the Phoenix. Williams still back on top. Sorry, Dean, to interrupt you there. Got to point out exactly what Doug Williams is doing here. Not only is he putting pressure on the arm, he's also trying to drive the air out of Jody Fleisch.
Well, Jody finally making it to the ropes. But of course, the thing with Jody Fleisch, he's so fast, he's so quick, he can move in the blink of an eye. And after all, Mark Priest, it only takes 3 seconds to win a wrestling match, and either of these men are just 3 seconds away from being crowned the King of England.
Doug Williams feeling confident now, and look at that, he hooks the arm, rolls through, and finds Jody Fleisch back down on the mat where he had him before. Doug Williams could keep him there all night, Dean.
Fantastic offense again. And I mean, I've been watching wrestling ever since I can remember, and I've never seen some of the moves that Doug Williams does.
But Jody Fleisch turns that into a crossbody press. He turned in midair, defying gravity, and almost got a pinfall on the Anarchist.
But there you see another disadvantage. Jody Fleisch is outweighed by at least 50 pounds. Doug Williams is a very strong guy. He can bench press the weight of Jody Fleisch all day long. So Jody's really going to have his work cut out if he's going to get a pinfall over the Anarchist.
But look, even a youngster like Jody knows his way around a ring. He's got the ring smarts to know that if you're going to get to the rope, you've got to make a break. Williams has to break any hold. That's smart, Dean.
True, but Williams knows you've got a 5 count to break it. He'll use every millisecond of that, and a gut-wrench suplex, and he landed right on that arm again.
Very, very clever by Doug Williams, changing the move ever so slightly. The move ordinarily would impact on the base of the neck and the top of the spine, but instead, Doug Williams, the crafty ring technician that he is, dropped Jody Fleisch down on that injured arm, further causing pain to the Phoenix. I've said it before, but things look very bleak.
Doug Williams is a very smart man. If you ever get the chance to talk to him outside the wrestling ring, he's a very intelligent man. And this is being shown here, although not quite such a heads-up move. If I were Doug Williams there, I wouldn't be bleating at the fans. I'd be trying to punish that arm a little more.
Well, these fans have been getting on his back, and this is perhaps the secret of Jody's success so far. These fans are behind him every moment of tonight. They were behind him against Johnny Storm. What an excellent contest that was, Steve. We saw them use all manner of objects, barriers, ladders, anything to get the job done. Jody prevailed. And then we saw him against Drew McDonald. It was almost 3-on-1 at times. It was Jody versus Drew, and Dino and Drew's valet.
Oh, Mark! He just landed him right on his head from the top rope. That was unbelievable. Jody Fleisch is seeing stars.
And Dean, I don't know if you noticed then, but it wasn't only his head that Jody landed on. It was that arm again. And Williams further compounded the move by following up with a baseball slide, hitting that same arm. Jody's a one-armed man.
Well, Andrew Coyne just checking on the condition of Jody Fleisch.
Jody trying to fight his way back into the ring. He has a 10 count to do it. Andrew Coyne almost reaching that 10 count, but Jody wants this so badly. He wants to become the King of England. He'll do anything to stop Doug Williams doing it, because that prize is something worth having. To the side of the Anarchist's head, Doug Williams is dazed, and a Hurricane Rana by Jody Fleisch. A swinging leg scissors taking Doug Williams' head down to the mat.
And Doug Williams is on the outside, and when you're against Jody Fleisch, that is not a good place to be, because shooting star press to the outside, that is one of the moves that is trademarked to Jody Fleisch, probably because there's no one else on God's green earth with the agility and the bravery, or is that the stupidity, Mark Priest, to do such a move?
Dean, these fans can't believe what they're seeing. They're up on their feet, applauding both men. Jody Fleisch is in amazing shape, other than that poor arm. You saw he was able to get over for that shooting star press. Dean, I don't think you'd even be able to turn one turn, let alone the three.
I can't believe what I'm seeing, Mark Priest. And Doug Williams now is trying to block the suplex he has, and Fleisch is in a perilous position. I don't like the look of this. No way. Look at that grin. Look at that evil look on Williams' face. There's no way he's going to try some kind of a move, a powerbomb or a pile driver. This looks nasty.
Dean, half the fans don't know whether to watch. Turn away as Doug Williams sends Jody Fleisch crashing down to the floor. There is a thin layer of padding, but it counts for nothing when your body is hurtling towards it at 40 miles an hour, Dean.
And let me ask you, Mark Priest, what part of your body hits that thin padding first? the shoulders. Great move, great thinking from Williams. He is really stepping over the line and doing whatever it takes to win this. Both men reaching down deep inside themselves to find the energy, to call upon the reserves, to be crowned the King of England.
Both men making it back into the ring. Almost a double count out by referee Andrew Coyne. But both men want this so badly. They want it to happen. They want to become the monarch of wrestling. Traded forearms and kicks from Fleisch and Williams. But it's Fleisch who's sent into the corner by the anarchist. Doug Williams looking to get back on top. He's expending too much energy. Throwing Fleisch to the outside, following up with a forearm, but Jody Fleisch is too quick.
And he'll springboard again. He goes for the Phoenix DDT and he hits it. Surely this is it. 1, 2, but no! Williams kicks out. Where did Williams find the energy to get out of that? That's the first time I've ever seen anyone kick out of the Phoenix DDT.
That just goes to show what a high caliber of opponent Doug Williams is, as Jody Fleisch goes up top looking for a victory roll, but Doug Williams too smart, throwing Jody into the corner, but gets a boot in his face for his troubles. As Jody comes in with a handspring elbow, Doug Williams catches him again. Jody goes for the victory roll, but Williams is too smart. Jody back on his shoulders, Williams throws him down, a forearm to the back, into the corner, but Jody Fleisch misses. Doug Williams back out, Jody up, Williams catches him, but Jody's rolled down the back. It's a 3 count, it's all over.
Unbelievable. Oh, Jody Fleisch found the energy, but look at the motion of this man. I mean, the strength of Williams, but he basically used Williams' weight as a counter, rolled him up suspiciously near the ropes, if you ask me, but still, we've got our King of England, the monarch of the match, Jody Fleisch.
And the winner, and the King of England, ladies and gentlemen, Jody Fleisch.
Jody Fleisch is a worthy King of England. Look at that ticker tape. It's like Times Square with returning heroes. Jody Fleisch is a returning hero. British wrestling has returned, and Jody Fleisch is our hero. He's the King of England, team. I can't believe it. He's overcome all the odds.
To award the King of England medal, please welcome one of the greatest wrestlers this country has ever produced. The one, the only, the legendary Tommy Billington, the Dynamite Kid.
And you know, Mark Priest, the word legend is so overused these days, but there is a bona fide legend of this business, Tommy Billington, the Dynamite Kid. You can draw parallels with Muhammad Ali, a man who gave his whole body to this business. You can see the results of it now, but this man is a legend, and I'm not ashamed to say I've got a lump in my throat.
The last time I saw you cry like this, Dean, was when you had to pay for dinner. But this has been Revival. This has been the return of British wrestling to your screens. We'll hope to see you again soon. British wrestling is back. Jody Fleisch is the King of England, as the legend Dynamite Kid congratulates him. We'll see you soon. I've been